Basically, here we will see people kind of catching up, right? So they are catching up or catch up. Now, what is catch up with someone? When they say catch up with someone, what do they refer to? Alan.
I think that it could be like pass time with someone.
Okay, so kind of having this time with someone, yes. And maybe talking about what? So what so yes, this is like this time to be with someone, but talking about what?
I don't know. It could be like about uh, what did you have, what did happen you in the week, or I mean situations of the life. I don't know, something like that.
Okay, yes, actually you are on the right track. So maybe we can simplify it by saying that it's about talking about like what's going on with your life after not seeing each other for some period of time, right? That maybe happens to us a lot when with our friends, correct? That sometimes, I mean, it is hard to be with them the every day, but at least you have one day to have some chismecito and then go on and talk about your daily life. So, therefore, what's going to be the topic we will be discussing today? What's that topic? What we will be discussing today? Claudia.
Maybe how to make conversation or phrases to when you're catching up with someone.
Okay. All right. So, phrases, expressions to catch up with someone. Excellent. So, this is part of Unit 8.3. So, let's move on. Now, here we have a conversation. If you have your book, please close it so that you can be able to pay more attention to whatever you hear instead of what you read. Okay? Um, we can see that here we have on this picture two women, right? And they are kind of talking and discussing things, maybe catching up. So I will go ahead and play the audio and please tell me what are the topics that they mentioned throughout the whole conversation, okay? So pay attention to what are the topics that they are discussing. All right. So let me go ahead and play it. And please take notes if you need to about what they're talking about. All right. So here we go.
Lesson 8.3, page 80, Exercise 1A.
It's great to see you again, Juliet. It's been a long time. I know. I haven't seen you since last spring. That was the last time I was here in Mexicali for work.
I'm so happy you could meet me today. So, what have you been up to?
Oh, the same as usual. Working, going to the gym, seeing friends. What have you been doing?
I've been really busy. I got a new job in January, so
Hey, congratulations.
thanks. It's great, but there's one problem. We start work at 8 o'clock, so I've been getting up at 6 o'clock every morning. Can you believe it?
No, I remember you hated getting up early in college. By the way, how's your brother Antonio? What's going on with him?
Not much. He's on vacation right now. But listen, why don't we go and have lunch together and you can tell me all your news? I know a great Chinese restaurant.
Really? I love Chinese food, but we're in Mexico.
Didn't you know that Mexicali is famous for its Chinese restaurants?
All right, so let's go ahead and mention what are the topics that they discussed on this conversation. So what were those topics? So what are the topics that they mentioned?
They are talking about what?
About work, okay. What else? So what other things did they mention? Go ahead, Aaron.
They're talking about they haven't seen in a long time, and what, where are they are working.
Okay. All right, so talking about not seeing each other in a long time, were they working? What else? What other topics? Claudia.
Maybe it could be about Chinese food here in Mexico.
Yes, they did mention also about the Chinese food, right? Yes, excellent. All right, so basically, yes, they're talking about the things they do, also about the new job, about the restaurant, the Chinese restaurants in Mexicali, etc., etc. So let's go ahead and take a look on the phrases. Okay, so here they mention a few expressions on the text about saying how long it's been, asking about someone's new, and answering. So why don't we go ahead and complete it with the expressions that were used on the conversation. So let me share you the conversation. That way we don't have to go back and forward. There you go. So what would be number one? Wendy.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Yes. Number two, Armando.
I haven't seen you since last spring or for a long time.
Excellent. So haven't seen. What about on the section of asking about someone's news? Number three, Claudia.
What have you been up to?
What have you been up to, right? And then number four, Aaron.
What have been you what have you been doing?
What have you been doing, right? Wendy, number five.
What's going on with him?
What's going on with him, right? And then they have how have you been? Number 6, Fernando.
The same as usual.
The same as usual, right? Yes. Thank you. Number 7, Armando.
I had been really busy.
I have been very busy, right? And number 8, I'll just give it out. Not much, right? So we can kind of see one thing. I have one question. What is something that you noticed on the majority of these expressions or phrases? What is something that you can notice about them? So, what does the majority of these phrases or expression has? What do they have in maybe common, maybe in general? David Navarrete?
If I'm not mistaken, is the structure of present perfect continuous with the have you been, for example?
Excellent. So it actually it's about both, right? Present perfect and present perfect continuous. So um, this is very interesting because I remember when I was learning English, I actually didn't know how to use the present perfect. It was like very hard for me to understand where should I be using it. And now I can see that it is mostly used and even in the conversations, it is definitely a very used structure. So let's keep those things in mind and let's move on to the next part. Now, here we have 4 sentences. 2 of them are questions, 2 of them are sentences. So let's match them with the appropriate or the most logical answer, okay? 2 minutes and then we will share answers. All right, I see Wendy. Wendy, you want to do number 1?
Yes. Wow, it's been a long time. Yeah. What have you been doing?
Excellent. Number 2, Octavio.
What have been what have you been to up to? Not much.
Great. Thank you. Number 3, Jonathan.
What's going on with Peter? He's really busy.
Excellent. Thank you. And number 4, Claudia.
I haven't seen you for a long time. I know. How have you been?
Excellent. Okay. Let's move on then. Now, here we have another conversation between Rosa and Juliet. So what we're going to pay attention is to what does Rosa suggest and what does Juliet ask, okay? It is a very short conversation, so maybe I will have to play it twice, and that way you can make sure that you have the appropriate answer. So let's listen to it. Remember, focused on what does this Rosa suggest and what does Juliet ask. So here we go.
Lesson 8.3, page 81. Exercises 2A and 2B.
Are you free on Friday for lunch? I could invite some of my friends too.
That would be wonderful. I'd love to meet them. Do they speak English?
All right, so I'll play it one more time. Remember, what does Rosa suggest and what does Juliet ask?
Lesson 8.3, page 81. Exercises 2A and 2B.
Are you free on Friday for lunch? I could invite some of my friends too.
That would be wonderful. I'd love to meet them. Do they speak English?
All right, so what is the suggestion that Rosa makes? David?
Rosa suggests have a well, I don't know, it's a dinner or a breakfast. I just hear a lunch with Julie and their friends, the friends of Rosa.
Excellent. So yeah, it's for lunch actually, as you said, and to invite some friends as well. Thank you. What about Juliet? What does Juliet ask? Ismael.
She asked about um, her friends speak English.
Excellent. So yeah, maybe we feel a little bit nervous about the language, right? So the question is if they do speak English. Excellent. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna play it one more time. Just one thing. Um, whenever we want to make a suggestion or like give a possibility or an option, we could say that would be, and then um, say an adjective. This is only kind of to respond to a suggestion or a possibility that it was provided. So therefore, we can use that would be along with any adjective that you can imagine, okay? So what we're gonna do, again, I'm gonna play it and tell me what adjective did they use with the phrase that would be. So what was the actual adjective that they mentioned?
Lesson 8.3, page 81. Exercises 2A and 2B.
Are you free on Friday for lunch? I could invite some of my friends too.
That would be wonderful. I'd love to meet them. Do they speak English?
Okay, so what was the adjective? Ismael.
Um, she said that will be wonderful.
Wonderful, right? So in other words, and thank you so much, we can use any combination. Like here in the example, they said that would be great, that would be wonderful. On this part, that would be awful. So we can have either positive adjectives or negative adjectives. That's why I want for you to help me out and find more adjectives in which we can combine this phrase, okay? So that would be and list a few ones. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and share you the website and the code so you can give suggestions for adjectives that we can use with that phrase, okay? So give just a second for this to load and we will begin. So here you go. So go for it. Let's start writing our adjectives. All right, so that will be amazing. That will be awesome, funny. That will be cool. That will be nice. Terrible also. Remember that it can be both ways, right? Positive and negative ones. That will be terrific, spectacular. Um, I think that's all the words that we have been shared by now. So go ahead and share your words. All right, so we have horrific. I think that's been basically it, right? Great. That will be great. Okay. All right. So we can see that it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. We can use it both ways and we will find the same thing. Um, Now I'm going to show you some situations. And what I want for you to do is go ahead and respond to those situations using that would be. If you want to add even more, you're more than welcome. But try to find appropriate adjectives that you can respond to this. Like, I don't know, I'll help you find your missing keys. That would be helpful or something like that. Okay, so go ahead and write your possible answers for and you don't have to write the whole sentence, just number them like 1 2 3 4 and 5 and then just put the answer, and after that share it on the chat. All right. So Wendy, that would be horrible. I don't have the physical cake. Yes, sometimes we never know, right? And we if we don't have good condition, maybe it's gonna be hard for us. All right. Um, thank you, Wendy. Let's go with Ismael. That would be tired. That would be nice. That would be awesome. Delicious. I'll cook excellent. Hopefully that I'm a good cooker, right? And that would be interesting. All right, Ismael, thank you. Jonathan, that would be hard. That would be things that would be helpful. That would be awesome. Wow, that would be incredible. Excellent, and that would be exciting. Thank you, Jonathan. Good. And then let's go with Omar. That would be an amazing experience, definitely, right? And even a challenge. I feel like those type of things is not only the physical health, but also like how much you can challenge yourself to make things. That will be a lot of help. Thank you. That will be great, delicious, and that will be great. Thank you, Omar. Fernando, that would be fun. That would be a great help. Thank you. That would be excellent. Double L, don't forget. That would be interesting to see. Yes, that would be amazing. Okay. Thank you, Fernando. So continue posting your options. Let's go ahead and proceed with the next part of the topic. But you can still post your answers. So now we're going to go to this pronunciation section. Today, what we're going to be taking a look at, it's on the vowel sounds. So remember when I always insist about that words are not the same as letters, I'm sorry, are not the same as sounds. Why? Because in the case of the vowel sounds, you won't believe it, but approximately the English language has around 13 to 15 different vowel sounds, which in Spanish, we know that we only have 5, right? We will always pronounce a as an e, o, and u, right? But in English, we actually have around 13 to 15. So imagine there's more than 5 sounds for the vowels. That's why we have to identify them with a symbol. And with that being mentioned, here we're going to present you 2 symbols. So I will play for you the first part of this exercise. So pay close attention on the way they pronounce those symbols, okay? So let me play it for you.
Lesson 8.3, page 81. Exercise 3A.
Ah, got. Lenny got another speeding ticket.
Ah, haven't. I haven't seen you since last spring.
Okay, so the first sound we can notice that they pronounce it somehow or some like ah, right? Ah. Like saying like a letter O but an ah. So it's a combination right there. And then the other sound or the other symbol, it is ah. So haven't, right? We don't say haven't, but we say haven't. So the symbol it's ah, right? Now I will go ahead and play the following words. What you're going to do is identify which of the 2 sounds are they referring to. So on each one of the words, we have like a letter in bold. And make sure that you actually pay attention to this and identify which of the 2 sounds it is more related to. So I will play the first one once again so you can listen to the sound very clearly. and then we will do the second part, okay? So I will be playing it one more time.
Lesson 8.3, page 81, exercise 3A.
Ah, got. Lenny got another speeding ticket.
Ah, haven't. I haven't seen you since last spring.
Okay, so the first one it's off and the second one it's right? So let's go ahead and identify. If you hear the sound off, you will write letter A. If you hear the sound we will write letter B. All right? So let's go ahead and practice it.
Lesson 8.3, page 81, exercise 3B. 1,
Can,
2,
Haven't.
3,
concentrate,
4,
Problem.
5,
job,
6.
Chance.
All right, I will play it one more time and then we will see which of the two sounds was for each one of the options.
Lesson 8.3, page 81, exercise 3B. 1,
can,
2,
Haven't.
3,
concentrate,
4,
Problem.
5,
job,
6.
Chance.
All right, so number one, was it A or B? Ismael.
I think it's letter A.
Letter A. All right. In this case, we say can instead of con, right? So it would be actually letter B because remember the second symbol, it's pronounced like eh. So can, right? But as I always say, those are beautiful mistakes. Thank you so much. So number two, haven't. Which would it be, A or B? Or would you need me to play it one more time? All right, Jonathan?
This is letter B.
Letter B, right? Haven't. So, yes. Number three, concentrate. Concentrate. Listen to the sound. Concentrate. So, Jonathan, and then number four will be Ismael. So go ahead, Jonathan.
Oh, I think number 3 is letter A.
A, right? Concentrate. We don't say concentrate, but concentrate. Yes. Number four.
I think it's letter A.
Yes, excellent. So it's problem, right? Not problem. That sounds like, I don't know, kind of weird. So yes, excellent. Number five. Job. Aaron?
Letter A.
Excellent. Yes, we say job, right? Not jab. That would be maybe something else, or I don't know. Thank you. Number six. I'm sorry, someone's mic is open. Oh, not anymore. Number 6, chance. What would it be? Jonathan?
Letter B.
Yes, so we say chance, right? Not chance. That would be something else, or maybe a different accent. We don't know. Okay, now I want for you to come up with words that have those sounds, okay? Remember, the first one here, it's pronounced ah, and then the second one, it's like ah, right? So make sure to pay close attention to how it's been pronounced and make sure to uh, give 2 examples for each column, okay? So you're going to go ahead and write them down and share it on the chat. And I know that maybe the symbols are difficult to get. So if you want, just put letter A and we will know that it will refer to the A. And letter B, we know that we will refer to the A, right? So let's go ahead and look for 2 examples for each category. Pablo, you have a question?
Well, yes, a little bit to question, though. In some way, the letter O sounds more like A, or that's a thing that I see.
Okay, so yeah, and that is why, in a way, we don't say got, right? We say got. So it sounds more like an sound, but that's why we want to differentiate the symbols from the letters. Remember, letters are just, they're represented, but the sounds are a totally different aspect. So that's why if you see God, you can imagine that it will be a symbol like an O, a letter O, but remember, again, letters are not the same as symbols. So the symbol, even though that it looks like an A, that it's just simply called a symbol, not a symbol A, okay? Um, but yeah, it actually has a sound like an ah sound, not an O sound, like if we would have imagined that that will be. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, teacher, thank you.
Yes, excellent. And those are great questions, guys. It is sometimes difficult for pronunciation, identifying maybe sounds, and mostly because they are represented in different ways as we commonly know them in letters. But whenever you go and take a dictionary or um, any dictionary, any online dictionary, you will notice that it even has like the word and then some symbols. So the way those symbols are, it's like a representation on how the word is supposed to be pronounced, right? It's not like in Spanish that if it has an C, an O, an M, E, R, we say comer, and that's just simply the sound. So we know that in English, the written language, it's totally different from the way it sounds, right? So it is very tricky on that, but these are just part of the language. All right, so whenever you find your two words, go ahead and share it on the chat for participation.
Miss, I don't hear the audio. I don't know if I the only one.
Oh no, on this one, you have to come up with two examples from each sound.
All right. Sorry. Thanks.
No, don't worry. Yeah, so maybe I don't know if I mentioned it, but anyways, so I need for you to come up with two examples for each sound, okay? And then post it on the chat once you are done. Okay, so let's see, Pablo. We have family, hand, class, arm. Okay, just on the second one, class will actually go to the other category, and arm, it's fine. So just class. Class should go to the other category. But great job. Thank you, Pablo. All right. So Jonathan, boring, close. Mm, remember that it's more like an ah, like in that case, that would be a different sound. So maybe we should check that, and then fat, may. Okay, the other two are good. Thank you. So Jonathan, and then Ismael. Gotham, plot, farm, black. Farm will, I think farm will go with the first category, and then black, it's fine. Bit difficult, right? Sometimes identifying sounds, oh God, It's such a headache. But we have to kind of start differentiating a little bit on the words and the sounds. Hat, I believe all of them will fall into the same one. Paola, bar, cat, clothes, bag, clothes. So cat, it goes with the first one. Bar, I think will go to the second for the other category. So cat will be more like the second category. Well, I mean, it goes with that one, and then bar will be more for the other category. All right. It's a little bit tricky. All right, so I will continue checking your answers, but we need to move on a little bit faster. So let's go ahead and continue. Now, let's keep calm and move to the next topic. So we will not do the conversation because it will take us a little bit of time, but we know that when we want to catch up with someone, we actually speak or talk different topics, right? So I'm pretty sure that you know how it goes. Now let's go to and move on to the next part. And well, here on this picture, we have words like achievement, plan, project, priority, to do, and task. If you would have say this in 2 words, how would you name all this all together, this idea? So how would you give like this general idea of all this word together in 2 words? And we have Ismael.
Maybe work vocabulary.
Okay, work vocabulary. All right. Any other option? So if we would have said this in general words, we will say about time management, right? Time management, it's something that we deal every day. And especially if we are students, I believe that time management has to do a lot with us. Sometimes we want to do things, but obviously we have to give priority to some others. So all this is, or this topic will be all about time management, okay? And this is for unit 8.4. Now here I'm showing you some maybe activities that we have in our daily basis. Maybe not all of them apply to you. So only using seven these 7 activities, I want for you to list them from the ones that consume most of your time to the less. Uh, take into consideration, maybe you are living with your parents, maybe you are not so aware of paying bills. Well, that could be all the way to the bottom of your list. So think about all these activities, think about your own situation and which ones are most time consuming and which ones are the less time consuming. So go ahead and make your lists and go and put it on the chat. Okay, so we will see. And if you want to mention them on the mic, that will count as 2 participations, okay? So you have the choice of put it on the chat, or if you want to talk to us here on the mic, it will count for 2 participations. All right, Ismael.
All right, my list is number 1, homework. Number 2, school. Number 3, work. Number 4, sleep. Number 5, house chores. Number 6, checking email. And number 7, pay bills.
All right. So maybe the sleeping part, it's kind in the middle. Not too bad for being a student. Excellent. Jonathan.
Okay, in first place, homework. Second place, house chores. Third place, school. Fourth place, checking emails. Number 5, work. Sixth place, sleep. And seventh place, pay bills. That's it.
Okay. So now we have our first sleep at the bottom. Excellent. Okay, let's go with Pablo.
Okay, my list is the first one is homework. The second one is school. The third one is house chores. The fourth is sleep. Um, the five is checking mail. The six is work, and the seven is pay bills.
Pay bills. Okay. And maybe paying bills, it's the least one because, I mean, they can be paid online and even you don't have to worry about that. Okay, I'm just gonna make a pause. Don't lower your hands. I'm just gonna read the one from Omar. So it's homework first, school, then work, sleep, house chores, checking email, and paying bills. Okay, so I see a little bit more of balance on the sleeping part because I mean, we're students and we work and we go to school, so sometimes it's a little bit difficult to actually have our 8 hours of sleep. So good to see that some of you have it kind of on the balance. We will go Fernando, Claudia, and we will finish with David Navarrete. So go ahead, guys.
My number 1 is homework. The second is school. Then is sleep. Next, checking emails. Next, house chores. And then work, and the last, pay bills.
Okay, so paying bills, it's not that time consuming. Thank you. Claudia?
I put school first. Next, I put homework, then work, then pay bills, then sleep, house chores, and then at last checking emails.
Okay, so checking emails. All right. Thank you so much, Claudia. And David?
Well, the things to do that consumes almost my time. It's number 1, homework. Number 2, school. Number 3, house chores. Number 4, sleep. Number 5, checking emails. Number 6, work. And number 7, pay bills. Unfortunately, or unfortunately, I don't have any responsibility, so that's okay.
Okay, so maybe that's like the least one. Um, School consumes a lot of time and even homework. We say maybe, oh, I'm just gonna spend 1 hour, but the truth and reality is that no, we have to actually complete whatever we're doing as homework. And even because, well, in my case, I remember whenever I used to do homework, I will kind of first clean the space and then try to concentrate, and then I will start doing homework. But then when I started, I had like 3 or 4 classes, and then it was a lot of things to do when doing homework. But still, it is something for our own benefit. All right, guys, thank you. Let's move on to the next part. Now, here we have these words. I want for you to take a look on the words and see what would be the appropriate meaning to these words, okay? So you have 3 options, A, B, or C. I will give you 2 minutes and then we will share answers together. Okay, so I already see hands. Octavio, number 1.
Number one, wisely, letter B, in a smart way.
Great, thank you. Number 2, Ismael.
Number 2 technique. It's a way of doing something.
Excellent. Number 3, Jonathan.
Number 3 responded. This is letter A. Answered someone.
Perfect. Thank you. Aaron, number 4.
Number 4, letter B, things you have to do.
Excellent. And Omar, number 5. Okay. Great job. So, and, right? All right. Maybe this can help you to kind of, maybe you already know these words, but maybe also you can add them to your vocabulary. Let's continue. So now we have here a small pronunciation section. I don't want to be so emphasized on this because it's something very usual, not only with the word didn't, but also with other words. And this is because whenever we are producing fast speech, we tend to omit sounds. So in this case, they want for you to focus on how is the t sound omitted when you are talking fast. So I will play for you the audio and then take a look if they the way they omit this or they drop the last sound, which is the t in didn't. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to it.
Lesson 8.4, page 82, exercise 2A. 1,
It didn't take very long.
2,
Then I didn't need to put those tasks on my to-do list.
All right. So if you noticed, they didn't say like it didn't take very long, right? So they say something like it didn't take very long. And when they said, then I didn't need to put those tasks, instead of saying didn't need, they just directly said I didn't need, right? So on the next exercise, we're going to pay close attention and we're going to decide whether speaker A or speaker B, it's dropping the t sound. So whoever it's dropping the t sound at the end of didn't, that would be the one that it's actually dropping the sound because of fast speech, okay? So we're going to focus and choose the one that it's omitting the t sound at the end of didn't, okay? So I will play it for you guys. Pay close attention and just say speaker A or B. Here we go.
Lesson 8.4, page 82, exercise 2B. 1. A.
I didn't know how much time I was wasting.
B.
I didn't know how much time I was wasting.
2. A.
I could have answered the emails right away, but I didn't.
B.
I could have answered the emails right away, but I didn't.
3. A.
I didn't realize paying my bills online was so easy.
B.
I didn't realize paying my bills online was so easy.
4. A.
It didn't take as much time as I thought.
B.
It didn't take as much time as I thought.
Okay, let's go ahead and see who was the actual one, which if it was A or B, who omit the t sound at the end of didn't. So number 1, A or B? Claudia.
B.
B, right? Yes. Number 2, A or B? Omar. A. Yes, excellent. Number 3, I didn't realize paying my bills. A or B? So who was it? A or B? Aaron.
Letter B.
Letter B. Okay. I think it was actually letter A. Because on letter B, I think they did mention that at the end. All right. And number 4. A or B? All right. So it will be letter B, right? Thank you. So the whole point of this pronunciation section is that whenever we are producing fast speech in English, we actually or tend to drop the t sound at the end of the word didn't, right? So instead of saying didn't, we say just didn't, right? Okay, questions so far? Everything clear? Thumbs up if everything is okay. Raise your hand if you have a question. All right, sounds great. So we're gonna go ahead and do, maybe this will be the last activity for today. So basically, I'm gonna be sharing you a link for a short guide to time management. And here they're just showing you maybe some techniques, maybe you will find it helpful, maybe not, but we're gonna work with this document with, it's a PDF I will share with you the questions, I'm sorry, the link in a moment. And after you read it, I want for you to answer the following questions. So the first one is to list the unknown words from the text, add the definition, and a sentence. That way you can internalize the word, okay? Also, what is the main idea of this guide? How is time management going to help you on your daily activities? What are the techniques that appear on the document? What is the technique that you struggle the most and why? What technique would you like to improve and why? And what technique do you dominate already and why? Why do you say that? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and read this PDF. I'm gonna share with you a questionnaire that I already have. I'm just gonna post it here on Teams. So there's where you're going to be writing your answers, okay? So let me, in the meantime that I share you the questionnaire, I'm gonna go ahead and share the actual link for the document. In the meantime that I'm assigning you that questionnaire. Okay, so whenever you are done, just put on the chat, I'm done. That way I can see how many people are actually over with the, and we will just wait for the final instructions, okay? So let me share this with you. By the way, don't forget about the expressions, guys. Okay, so I will leave this open until 11:59. Don't forget to work on it right now. Here is the link, so you will have access to the document. It's a very short one. It's 8 pages, but it's very minimum the text on each one of the pages. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on this activity. Once you are done, just put on the chat, I'm done, and I will just let you know the final instructions in a little bit. And read it. I will be here in case you have any questions, guys. All right, guys. Well, it is almost and already time to leave. So I'm gonna leave it open until 11:59 today. So that way you can still work on it throughout the day. And with all this being said, I think that'll be all for today's class. If you want to share something about today, something that you learned, something interesting, go ahead and do so. And put it on the chat if you like. There's no problem. So I will see you next week. Hopefully you have a great weekend and start getting prepared for the next evaluation. Have a good one, guys, and see you next week.
Thank you, Miss. See you
Thank
next
you,
week.
Miss. See you. Take care.
See ya next week.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye bye. You too. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye, teacher.
Have a good one.